Honorable members, prayers. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Youth Impact Parliament. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the founder and the speaker of Youth Impact Parliament. Endow members of Parliament with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of this Youth Parliament, the interests and wishes of members may be well and truly served, and their good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. Amen. God grant us a vision as it might be, a fraternity of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a fraternity of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a fraternity of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, a fraternity of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving, a fraternity of peace, where the Youth Parliament shall rest on the will of its members and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Youth Impact Parliament, Volta region in Ghana. Amen. Honorable members.
Amen.
Amen.
We are moving on to item 2 on the order paper, welcome address. Honorable members, I'm happy that we are meeting virtually. As a matter of fact, per our drafted standing orders, we ought to meet at least once a month, and the recommended one is physical. But whenever our physical meetings might not be possible, we can improvise to meet virtually. So the last time we met was our 4th parliamentary sitting, which was on the 20th of February. The 20th of February, if I'm right. So today, the 22nd of March, we are sitting again for our 5th parliamentary sitting. But this time around, it is virtual. So I want to use this opportunity to welcome you all for our 5th parliamentary sitting, which is a virtual sitting. Honourable members, move to item 3 on the order paper, communication from the founders. Honourable members, the founders wish to communicate to the House that this sitting is a very informative one. It is a little bit different from our physical ones. Noting that it is a virtual sitting, of course, the rate of interaction might be low. However, commencement of new seminar, which is very informative, and then at the commencement of public business, we have a lot of informative sections over there. So whenever you have any other business, as you can see, Honorable Erasmus, kindly mute yourself.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much. So when you have questions, you can ask at item 9. We are hoping to have a statement as well. I've admitted a statement, however. And then petitions, parliamentary prayers, they are also at item 11. So the founders want to thank all of you for being active, and hopefully at the right time you all be duly rewarded. Thank you very much. Honourable members, moving on. Item 4 on the order paper, adoption of order paper. Honourable members, you can all see the order paper displayed on your screens. Any submission on the order paper? If there are Honourable Minority Leader, you have a submission?
Mr. Speaker, I wanted to inquire. You stated that the order paper is displayed on the screen.
Yes.
I don't know. I think I can see mine over here.
Oh, okay. One of my accounts is actually presenting the order paper. So you should be able to see. Have you seen it?
Okay.
Yeah, have you seen the white background?
Yes, I have done that. I've seen that.
Yes, exactly. That's the order paper.
Okay.
Yes. Honourable members, Any submission on the other paper?
Okay.
Yes, Honorable Second Deputy Speaker.
Yeah, right.
Honorable Second Deputy
Please,
Speaker, yes.
just want to worry you and then the House a bit. On the other paper, I can't see refreshment. What about that, please?
Honorable Second Deputy Speaker, as a
Yeah,
matter of
yeah.
fact,
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
matter of fact, I don't know what agenda the minority is trying to push, but you all know I cannot give you item 13 on a virtual platform. So, on that note, your question
Right,
is
The
it
minority
is
will
possible. It is possible.
So, on that note,
Momo item 13. Momo item 13.
on that note, your question
Momo,
is dismissed.
refreshment.
Honour members, order. No electronic transactions over here. So there will be no refreshments because we are on a virtual platform. However, we'll be quick so that we can finish up and save your airtime. So maybe that might be the electronic refreshments to you. Yes. So, honour members, any submission on the other paper?
Refreshment.
Honourable Elijah, be careful. Honourable members, in the absence of any submission on the other paper, can the Deputy Majority Leader move for the adoption of the other paper?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and the August House. I respond to the name Selam Agbava, the Deputy Majority Speaker to this August House. I rise to move a motion for the adoption of the other paper. Thank you.
I heard something. I think for the records, we'll have to correct it. You said you are the Deputy Majority Speaker. Can we do the right thing?
No, I said Deputy Majority Leader. Okay, fine. Let me remove the motion.
Okay.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and the August House. I respond to the name Selam Agbava, the Deputy Majority Leader to this August House. And I rise to move a motion for the adoption of this other paper.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minority Leader, kindly second the motion for the adoption of the other paper. Okay, Honorable Second Deputy Speaker, kindly do the needful.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and our guest house. I am the person of Amanor, Second Deputy Speaker of this House. I rise to second the motion being moved by Honorable Selom. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, moving on to item 5 on the order paper, official introduction of members. I want to give the opportunity to the participants active online right now to introduce themselves, except the officers. The parliamentary officers, I'll introduce you. But let's first have Honorable Edwin Kwame introduce himself to the House. Honorable Edwin Kwame, you can kindly unmute yourself.
Okay. Yes, I'm here.
Yes, you can introduce yourself to the House.
Oh, okay. I'm Edwin Kwame Seramadenyo, an alumnus of UCC, and I'm currently doing my master's.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
This is actually my first time of joining this August House.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Welcome to Youth Impact Parliament.
All right, thank
we'll
you.
move on to Honorable Elijah. Yes, Honorable Elijah. Oh, okay, fantastic. We have an indication there. Honorable Elijah,
all right. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, we can hear you. Please proceed.
All right. So
Good evening, House. My name is Right Honorable Elijah Yakunedu, and I am the Speaker for the UNYA YGI Youth Parliament House. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Elijah, who is the Speaker of UNYA Youth Parliament. As I said, the officers of the House will introduce you. I'll introduce you duly. Honorable members, as you can see on the screen, I don't know whether you can see the screen. Can you see the screen? Is it still the other paper that is being displayed? Yes. Are you still seeing the other paper?
Yes, please, Right Honorable Speaker.
You are still seeing the other paper? Or you are seeing a list of parliamentary officers?
Yes, please.
Okay. Oh, okay. I think I know the reason why this is happening.
No.
As a matter of fact, yes. As a matter of fact, I left that page.
Yes, please, a list.
Okay. Honourable members, I'll just proceed to introduce the officers of the House. Yes. So I think the screen is now changing for you. That is the list of officers, the parliamentary officers. Okay, you can now see on your screen. Honourable members, I want to introduce to the House the officers of the first Parliament of Youth Impact Parliament. I'll start from, should I start from the top or the under?
Mr. Speaker, I think the top will be okay.
Okay. Accordingly, I'll admit the request and the suggestion of the Honourable Minority Leader. Honourable members, the officers of the House, Right Honourable Jones Amegashie-Viglo, is the one currently speaking. Then we have the Clerk to the House, Ms. Hilary Ofosu-Ansah, Deputy Clerk Publicity, Delphia Bukhari, Deputy Clerk Finance, Ms. Olnice Adams, Deputy Clerk Operations, Ms. Millicent Moto Kwashi. Then have the Marshal, Mr. Enoch Nyajo, and his two deputies, Mr. Paul Onchu, and then Mr. Ben Katsu. Honourable members, I now move to youth MPs occupying parliamentary offices. We have the Honourable First Deputy Speaker, Honourable Felix Wakpe Adiche, Honourable Second Deputy Speaker, Honourable Amanor Ahianu. We have the Honourable Majority Leader, Honourable Amanor David Narh. We have the Honourable Minority Leader, as in the person of Honourable Erasmus Kofi Ahianu. I have the Honourable Deputy Majority Leader, Honourable Selam Agbavo. The Honourable Deputy Minority Leader, Honourable Hubert Agbakode. We have the Majority Chief Whip in the person of the Honourable Wanda Nicodemus Jamisi. We have the Minority Honourable Godwin Yakoshi, the First Deputy Majority Chief Whip, Honourable Gidi Evans, the First Deputy Minority Chief Whip, Honourable Godson Agbemaklido, the Second Deputy Majority Chief Whip, Honourable Rhoda Adbalito, and the Second Deputy Minority Chief Whip, which is Whip, yes, Honourable Augusta Kape. These are the officers of the House, and I believe the House duly recognizes them. Honourable members, yes, we'll move on. Kindly give me the opportunity to switch the screens so that you can now see the other paper. Honourable members, our guest speakers for the mini seminars are ready. So I would like us to move on to the next item on the order paper. Honored members, moving on to the commencement of mini seminar. Honored members, we have in our midst 3 right honorable colleagues of mine who are very knowledgeable in their field and have some things to share with us. We'll give them a minimum of 10 minutes and a maximum of 15 minutes to share with us their experience on whatever topic they want to speak on to this August house. Honored members, I'd like to thank them for availing themselves. Honored members, respectfully, I'd like to invite Right Honorable Dr. Benjamin Kisi-Sasu, a former speaker of KNUST SRC Parliamentary Council, to address the House. Right Honorable, the floor is yours. First, tell us about yourself before you speak. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Mr. Speaker and the House, good evening to everyone. I've always wanted to have a time to speak with you people, but my schedule has been busy because of national assignments, and I'm happy today I've gotten a chance, though I will spend just a little bit of the time. I like to say I'm happy with the enthusiasm Right Honorable Jones Amegashie is showing in terms of the training parliamentary for the youth and especially for the students, for the schools, the institutions, which is very cool. Parliamentary settings or Senate or having parliamentary in schools helps so much in with the youth getting well trained for the future and discussing issues. There are 3 things I'll just let us note. 1, we all know there's different type of parliament that we currently have. Like what I had the chance to chair at the 10th SR speaker was for that of SRC, which was one of the arm of government. So when we talk about business of the house, where things that when we do, it was binding to SRC and they have to implement. First thing we have to write, take decisions, have to go to the VC, have to go to the Dean of Students before the president can do a lot of things. That was it. The other parliament, like the KNSC Student Parliament, which also was an advocacy group and also served as training for people who wanted to be part of a parliamentary, like the way EU team part has also come to discuss matters for us to express our ideas, and possibly sometimes we can pass a copy of whatever you discuss and conclusions to other bodies to consider in their discussions. These are all good in all. But there's one thing we should note. We are a group of youth coming up, intellectuals, and we need to be careful of certain things we do. Sometimes you see student parliament whereby they want to emulate what is being done at national parliament. National parliament can be going wrong. There are a lot of issues. It doesn't mean we should play the politics or we should play the strategy of doing the same. Is as students, we are being taught to change the status quo. So if national parliament, parliamentarians don't go to parliament, they want to raise objection they don't need to do. They want to delay business of the house. They want to just play the kind of politics that's being played. And we do the same. It means we are worse off. Because I know when we sit at our various houses or in schools and we hear certain things or we follow parliamentary proceedings and certain things we see, our conscience, we get to know it's wrong. But they are not lucky because of systems that they have been exposed to. They have not been lucky to have the chance of listening to parliamentary proceedings like the way we have had to go through. So we give this opportunity with technology to watch parliamentary proceedings every time and learning from their mistakes. Should do the right thing when we get a chance. Whatever we would have wished to see in them, we should begin to show that. That makes it different. And that's one thing that I was working during my time. And let's not forget, parliamentary, whatever work of parliamentary as students, the focus is there should be democracy and governance, whereby the views of the student should be heard, whereby views of people should be heard. And that's why that's the only house that has a leader being the speaker. He speaks for the people. So the view should go. Many a time, those who are in the student parliament, especially at the SRC level, do not listen to their constituents. If we currently have issues that, our Ghana Parliament, our parliamentarians are there not seeking their own view, not listening, what are we doing? Those are such that I feel we really need to look at. For the groups that are not more of the SRC, or they are just a normal advocacy group or youth impact, need to find a way of getting views of people in discussion making, and that make our democracy we are looking for, or discussion becomes so rich. Parliamentary sitting or democracy is costly. That's why we need to always consult, discuss things together, and we are all doing well. And I'm happy we are all in a short moment are learning from each other. Now there's technology. I tried from my time where we saw photography, we saw videos, recorded versions. So now we are all learning. We'll be making all the mistakes, but we should make sure that the mistakes that we are making are also the type that we could have avoided. If it's unavoidable, one fine. But if it's avoidable, let us try to do so and leave legacy and show leadership. It's this parliamentary sitting that we get to show to the group, the elderly, that as a youth we are ready to take up the country or institutions or the whole world by causing a change. It's what we do. They observe. They come to hear of us. So this is the wider opportunity we give to us, and I'm happy with this opportunity that Right Honorable Jones you give it to us. Letting people to talk about what they do in their parliament, share ideas. We get to see people seeing what is being done in other institutions. All is to enrich ourselves, and kind of like the National Parliament did, introducing a new type of way for the speaker. All are very good things that are coming up, and we need to learn from it and see how we could make certain decisions. And for some institutions, we get an opportunity to have a visit to the Ghana Parliament House. So lucky we meet the speakers by the time we did, and have a discussion. You'll be ready. Most speakers are ready to listen to student bodies or student leaders or the youth leaders on discussions. There's also another thing that we should note. There was a project which is ongoing. Certain municipalities are also having youth parliament, and has also discussed issues of national interest and also forward to their MP and all those things. These are ongoing, but I think before COVID, we took up. I remember in Ashanti region, but now COVID and funds have made those things get a little bit slow. But in time to be coming up again, I'm sure. For some of us with the experience, when it comes around and we can take part, let's just take part with our rich experience to help motivate staff. And let us change the status quo. That we go to parliament devoid of partisanship, devoid of our own personal politics, and have a good intellectual discussions and with the options for the better good of everyone. So I wish everybody the best, and thanks for this opportunity. I wish in the future I get more time for us to delve into more issues about parliamentary sitting and then our functions and all those things. So thank you very much. I'll leave the rest for all this.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Dr. Benjamin Kisisa. We wish to see your face. Some other members might don't know who they are speaking or who they are hearing. Yes, so is it possible you can see your face?
Okay, you can see my face. Okay, I'm there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Fantastic. I was actually making provisions to share your picture, but actually the preparations was intensive for our first ever virtual sitting, so I was unable to do that. So our subsequent speakers should kindly turn on the video when. Yes, fantastic. We'll take all the three presentations before we'll take questions to any of our right honorable guest speakers. So from here, I'd like to move on to our second guest speaker. Right honorable members, I want to use this opportunity to also admit our second guest speaker to speak to us. He is in the person of the Right Honorable Dr. Christian Anderson Isifo. Honorable members, on this honorable members, I respectfully invite Right Honorable Dr. Christian Anderson Isifo to speak to us and deliver his presentation. Thank you very much. Doc, I want to see your face.
All right. So yeah, presentation if it's not getting to your end, but then I'd like to thank you for. Yes, Right Honorable, can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you. Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, Doc, we can hear you. We can hear you. I think Doc is having some problem with his network.
So when I served as a member of parliament, Right Honorable Dr. Benjamin Kisi of the
Doc,
10th
I
SRC
think
Parliamentary Council.
yes, hello, Doc. I think you had some distractions, so if you can start your presentation once again, I think we're not missing information. Yes, if you could restart your presentation.
Okay. Okay. So good evening. I hope you can hear me now, Right Honorable.
Yes, we can hear you. Is it possible to have your video on as well?
Hello, good evening, Right Honorable.
Yes, is it possible to have your video on as well?
Yes, so my network is preventing.
Yes, it's true. I concur with you. Kindly proceed with the presentation.
Possibly, I'll try my best to be as clear as possible. I hope the network allows the presentation. Yeah, so I was acknowledging the presence of Right Honorable Dr. Benjamin Kisi-Sasu. He is the full-time doctor. I am still a student in school. He served as my Right Honorable. I was privileged to have him groom me my day as a member of parliament, and then to Right Honorable Elijah Odroya. And for yourself, Right Honorable Jones Viglo, I'm regarded your strength with the House, my experience on parliamentary proceedings and my experience in school and as a member of parliament. I think basically the presentation that Dr. Sasu gave captures almost everything I would have loved to speak on. In that the perception and the notion with which most of us go into the various parliaments is what is actually might actually end up hindering our progress. And so I think as a member of parliament under Dr. Sasu, I had for me, I had this perception which wasn't necessarily partisan, but then I posed the position as always trying to be the one pushing for what is right to be done, and in doing that, to a large extent, being the opposition leader, if I'm permitted to use that word, and it blinded me to a lot of things. I didn't have much opportunity to learn so much because when you come to any legislative body with a formed perception, usually it's difficult to appreciate the process and get to learn with an open mind. And so the very first thing I'd like to share with members is on our approach to matters of parliament. I think as we are still young, it's an avenue for us to learn as much as we can in terms of legislature. And then if we're able to keep up with this, it will make it easier for us to actually progress and lead at the national level if that.
Blessed this evening to have been a part of the people to hear such rich presentations made by your honorable selves. Yes, my name is Right Honorable Odro Elijah Akonedu. I happen to be the speaker for the Third Parliament of the United Nations Youth Association Ghana's YGI Parliament House. Briefly, I would want to share with the House. Please, am I audible? Please, am I audible?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, that's fine. So briefly, I would want to share with the House three major issues. I'll be very snappy with all three. The first is I would want to share with the House something on integrity. As leaders, as we are from our respective institutions and fields, it is prudent that we hold integrity in high esteem. Oftentimes, we see ourselves and our colleagues criticize the people holding positions in the national arena on so many issues. But the question is, do we have what it takes as youth to be able to stand the test of time in terms of integrity when we are given the opportunity to handle the offices these people we criticize are occupying now? This is a question I want all of us to ask ourselves this evening. And then whilst we are asking ourselves, I also want us to brace ourselves up and then take decisions and make conscious efforts to ensure that in whatever fields we find ourselves now, I see these fields we find ourselves now to be training grounds for capacity building avenues that we are engaged in. We are building ourselves up and we are training ourselves for leadership some few years to come. And so while we are building ourselves in those aspects, I would also want us to keep take into consideration the integrity part of our upbringing. Whatever you criticize someone for today, make sure that when you are given the opportunity tomorrow to be in that same office, you are not going to do things that they are doing now that you are criticizing. It is very important, and I would want all of us to take note of it. Due to time, I wouldn't be able to talk much on the integrity aspect. I would want to move quickly to the issue of volunteerism. I would want to encourage the youth of today to take volunteerism very seriously. Yes, I agree with all of us. I agree with the people that say for whatever services you render, you must at least have something coming in at the end of the day. Yes, I agree with that. But then I would want to encourage us to see volunteerism as an avenue where we show to others what we have and what we are made of. Oftentimes, what we learn in school and the programs and all the courses we have read, the books we have read, are not what necessarily will bring food to our table when we are out of school. Oftentimes, these extracurricular activities we are into, the Parliament House, many other leadership roles we are into, these are what actually builds us up for the future we are all envisioning. And to be able to catch the eye or to be able to catch the attention of people who are really going to be able to help you, oftentimes they would want to see something you have done, or they would want to see something in you. And I believe that volunteerism is an avenue which will help us showcase what we have and what we are made of. And so I would want to encourage all of us that at any point in time where we have the opportunity to volunteer, we should take it seriously. And yes, if we should take it upon ourselves that we are doing it to, one, to build ourselves up, and two, to showcase our what we have to the outside world. You may not know who is watching at what point in time. Probably someone is watching, you might not even know. The person will just take notice of whatever brilliant stuff you are doing out there, and may want to engage you or call you later and engage you into something that would rake in more benefits than what you have even learned in school. And so I would want to encourage all of us to take volunteerism very seriously, and for you may not know who is watching. To conclude, I would want to say that whilst all these things we are doing, we shouldn't be discouraged when criticisms and all those other negative comments come our way. I believe that whatever we are doing now, like I said earlier, is a capacity building ground for us, and we shouldn't be discouraged whenever criticisms come our way. Rather, we should brace ourselves up. If you make a mistake around this time, you should see it. You shouldn't let the mistake weigh you down. You should see that this is a training ground for you, and so when you make a mistake.
Oh, our honorable guest speaker lost his connection, but I think he was about concluding. So for now, until he comes back. Okay, Honorable Erasmus has a submission. Honorable Erasmus, the floor is yours. Kindly ask your question.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity given me. The name is Erasmus, Kofi, minority leader. Mr. Speaker, it's sad that the Honorable Elijah had to leave so suddenly. I'm sure it's because of network problems. However, I want to iterate a few items that he hated on and then ask a question. He made mention of integrity and stated that we should we normally criticize people holding positions, but we should ask ourselves if we have the integrity to mount and to fill those positions if we were to be there. He also mentioned voluntarism, of which I commend him for. He made mention of the fact that we should see voluntarism as an avenue to show what we have and what we are made of, and that we should embrace extracurricular activities as they tend to build us for the job purposes or other specific purposes. Also, that we should pick opportunities to volunteer and take them serious, and that we shouldn't be discouraged by criticisms. Now, my inquiry goes with integrity. Mr. Speaker, I don't know if the Honorable will be online. I think thankfully he has joined us. So my question regarding integrity is,
Exactly.
How does build integrity? How does the youth build integrity? And what actually is integrity? So if you can highlight or just give some light on that, I think we would be very glad. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I respectfully invite back on floor Right Honorable Elijah Oduro Yao Konedu to answer the question and proceed with his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable. Integrity, I would not want to give a dictionary or a book definition for integrity. I would want to bring it down to the level everybody would understand. Integrity simply means, to me, what you do that at the end of the day, yourself, your family, your friends, your colleagues, everyone around you, including your enemies, would be proud of you that you have done. That is what I call integrity. I wouldn't want to bring a book definition here. Integrity is something you do that yourself, you are proud that you have been able to do this. When there was an avenue to have gone, to have done something out of context, when there was an avenue to have done something awkward, or when there was an avenue to have done something would have possibly been beneficial to you but would be detrimental to others or to the organization as a whole, but you're able to stand your ground and say that I am going to stand for the right thing and I'm going to ensure the right thing is done. That is what I call integrity. That is what I call that you have been able to build yourself to the point that everybody can vouch for you at any given point in time that this person is a man of integrity, and so whatever respect or whatever role can be entrusted in his hands, and we are sure that how he has built himself, he is going to really be able to take up and not disgrace all of us. How to build integrity? You can build integrity by first taking the conscious decision to stay true and just to yourself as a person. Yes, lots of opportunities and avenues may come your way, but you have to stay true to yourself. There is this thing I always tell myself, and I always tell people around me, that you may be at a position where you can do a lot of things that would benefit you now, but the question is it going to benefit the general people, or is it something that ordinarily you would have wanted others to do when they were in your shoes? If you are able to answer this question and whatever you are doing, you think if anybody finds out tomorrow, it is not going to be a disgrace to you and to everybody around you. You are gradually building integrity for yourself. And so this is what I would want to call integrity. The book definitions are there, they are all true, but practically, to me, this is what I call integrity. When you do something or you are engaged in something, you yourself, you are proud of yourself, others can be proud of you, and when anybody digs under whatever you have done, there will not be anything fishy, or there will not be anything that will bring disgrace to yourself and other people around you. That is the point you can say that you have really developed yourself, and you have really gotten to the level where you have understood integrity, and then you have been able to stand as a man or a woman of integrity. I think I concluded my presentation by urging all of us to take these things we are doing seriously, because you don't know who is watching and you may not know what can come your way. Let us take these things we are doing like we are on a preparation ground, hoping that when in the nearby future we have the opportunity to be in any leadership roles, we will not disgrace ourselves and people around us. And I hope to see all of us at the top in the very near future. Thank you very, very much, Right Honorable Speaker, and the House, for your audience.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable. There's a follow-up from our Honorable Minority Leader, the Honorable Erasmus Kofi. Honorable Erasmus, kindly proceed with the follow-up.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, permit me to commend the Honorable Elijah. In fact, trust me, I have really learned a lot from his submission. And I think integrity is a subject I have been learning, or I've been looking into for the past week. And so I was keenly interested in his submission. Mr. Speaker, I have learned that building integrity is primarily a conscious effort, and integrity brings pride and a good name on oneself. Mr. Speaker, on that note, I want to thank Elijah once again, the Honorable Elijah, for his submission. And I believe that all members who are listening to him keenly as much as I am will commend him, because indeed this is something we all need to know. The youth, we have to build integrity for ourselves. Today we are all chastising members of parliament and other prominent people out there, and neglecting the fact that we are towing the same lines they are towing. We are doing things devoid of integrity, and it is very important that we build integrity. In addition, voluntarism. I would have loved to ask a question on voluntarism, but because of time, I think I'll proceed.
You can ask. You can ask.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, concerning voluntarism, my question or my inquiry is, how do you volunteer for an activity? When you volunteer for an activity, I don't know how to put it, but how do you volunteer for an activity that you've not been given the opportunity to volunteer for it? For example, I avail myself to do something. I commit myself to do it. Yet I am told that I shouldn't do it. When that comes, it is a challenge. How do I tackle it? That is the inquiry, please.
Thank you very much. Right Honorable Elijah Konedu, you may please proceed to answer.
All right, thank you very much, yes, Right Honorable in the House. This is a problem we are facing in Ghana currently. It is not that the youth do not want to volunteer, but and I must say that the youth of the country now have extremely brilliant ideas that, when given the opportunity and they're able to get to the table for the table of decision making, they will be able to make great impacts. But the question is, how do we get the opportunities? With this, I would want to say that you know yourself as an individual. You know your capabilities, you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses. If you identify that you are good in this area and you want to volunteer in that area, I would encourage that you, first of all, try to get in touch with someone in that area who can be of help to you getting the opportunity to volunteer for that group or that organization or that institution. Get closer to anybody who you know is in that organization or institution or association or whatever, and then talk to the person. You can walk into an office with a letter indicating that you want to volunteer. Ask for whoever is in charge of that office and meet up with the person. Tell the person you are here to volunteer. You are here to offer free services and you are not expecting anything in return. At the end of the day, like I said, you may not know who is watching. There may be someone who may not necessarily even be a part of management of that organization or institution or association, but will just pass through and hopefully wanting a service or a good or some goods. Will see how dedicated you are and would want to get you on board or would want to offer you something better than what you have even volunteered for. So yes, I agree with you that it is always not easy getting these opportunities. But then I believe that we can still do more. We can still do more. Opportunities don't come looking for you. You have to go looking for opportunities. So keep your eyes on the ground, keep your eyes open and keep your ears on the ground. If you hear of any avenue that you think you can volunteer, go ahead. Find people who can help you. If you have to walk to the place, if you have to move to the place, do so. Find out who will be in the position to help you get ahead in that place you want to go. Get them to hear your voice, get them to hear what you have to say, get them to hear and know what you have to offer. And I am sure that when we are able to do this right, we are going to have the audience we need. But then the most important thing is that when you are finally given the opportunity, when you finally have the opportunity, you should understand that this is where the integrity part comes in again. When you are given the opportunity, you should understand that you are not there for just yourself. I was addressing a gathering last week and I told them this, that when you have any opportunity to represent or to be at any place, you should understand that you are not there for yourself. You are there for your family, you are there for your institution you are representing, you are there for your friends, you are there for anybody who knows you. And if by any chance you happen to fail or you happen to disgrace yourself, it affects all these other people around you. Somebody might just even walk to a place and might coincidentally be called by your name. For example, if you are called, like myself, I'm called Elijah. I might just walk into a place, it might be my first time being there. But because of my name, Elijah, somebody who might have had the opportunity to work at that place before with the same name, Elijah, and possibly might have disgraced himself. When I get there and I introduce myself by the name Elijah, even though they might not know me, but whatever that person who had the same name came there to do, to disgrace himself and all the other people, it might have a negative effect on myself who I have just even gotten there. You get it? So whatever we do, we should understand that it has a dying negative effect on every other person around us. people we know and people we might not even have an idea of. So what
Okay. I think the Honorable lost his connection a little bit. Okay. Honorable Erasmus Ahianu, the last follow-up on the mini seminar. Kindly proceed to us when the guest speaker gains connection, he will answer. Last follow-up.
Okay, thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank you very much. I am very glad and very happy with the feedback received from the Honorable Elijah. Mr. Speaker, trust me, these are brilliant submissions that I think all Youth Impact members should be opportune to hear. I am so much learning right now. Yes, indeed. In our last sitting, the Honorable Elikem Agbo taught us something which we learned. It was like, in this life, we learn, we unlearn, and we relearn. And in fact, that is what we are doing here. Mr. Speaker, I don't know, but I want to reiterate on the answer he gave to the voluntarism issue. That is, to try to get someone in that organization and talk to the person to make the person aware that indeed you are in there to volunteer, you are there to work for free and to learn. And at the end of the day, who knows, your dedication and commitment may be seen and then hopefully awarded. The awarding is not the issue there, but the fact that he even brought the essence of integrity. He brought the essence of integrity at the voluntarism aspect. You know, that was where I realized that indeed these two coincide, even if not for voluntarism issue on the job. You see, that is when you get it. That's where you have to prove your integrity. Mr. Speaker, to wrap up, I want to also speak on the fact that our Honorable made mention of the fact that opportunities don't look for us, but we have to look for opportunities. This comment caught my attention, and I feel that it should be reiterated for all to hear. And then the last submission he made before his network interrupted, which was that if we are chanced to represent anywhere, we are there not for ourselves, but for our friends, our families, our organizations, our workplace, and for several other places. And that we should endeavor to give our best, because the least abysmal performance to disgrace us disgraces all these other persons as well. Mr. Speaker, with that said, I thank you very much and thank you for the privilege to join this session to learn.
Yes, thank you very much, the Honorable Minority Leader. And I believe the mini seminar has been helpful. Honorable members, on this note, I would like us to move to commencement of private business. Honorable members, at private business, in other parliaments, that is all they write as any other business, or some claim any other credible business. So questions, if anyone has questions about Youth Impact Parliament, questions about how we do, or anticipations, you can indicate it in the chat box, and then I'll give you the opportunity. If anyone has a statement to deliver, you can also equally indicate it, and then I'll give you the opportunity. And if anyone has a petition to table, you can as well indicate it. So now, members, the floor is open for private business, questions, statements, and petitions. Okay, the Honorable Minority Leader, you can proceed with your private business. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Right from the amendment of other paper, I think I wanted to make a submission to the other paper before my network interrupted, and hence I went offline and later came back. Also, it's quite unfortunate that the Honorable Elijah is now in but didn't hear my my last stated submission. However, I'll proceed. Mr. Speaker, I was hoping that we would have a debate motion at least to deliberate, or a topic to deliberate or to speak on, so that we could learn something. However,
Please, I'm here now.
we don't have that. Come again, please. Okay. The Honorable Elijah, I was commending you for your submission to the question on voluntarism. That I learned a lot. I stated some few things that you stated, which in fact really got to me, and I think everybody should take very seriously. That is that when we try to volunteer for an organization, an activity, or a presentation, or whatever it is, we should take it seriously. And if we are not able to do that, or we have such challenges, we should try to get people on the inside and talk to them that we are there to volunteer, because at the end of the day, in fact, I saw that to be one of the most important ways to avoid such challenges. And also that indeed, opportunities do not look for us, but we should look for them. And then if we are chance to represent anywhere, we should know that we are not representing there just for ourselves, but for our organization, friends, families, workplace, neighborhood, a lot. And that if we disgrace ourselves, the shame comes to them all. I think that was what I stated in the my last submission before proceeding with this one. And Good job with the work you are doing. You are really doing it, Mr. Speaker. So I don't know, can we have that? Can we integrate that, maybe a topic and a discussion, so that we all come on board to discuss? I think since we are now on private business, I think that would go a long way to help.
Yes, as a matter of fact, because it's a virtual sitting, with the last sitting that we had, which was the 4th sitting, you can see that the atmosphere was very energetic for a debate. But we have no trouble on the virtual sitting. We decided to postpone debate to our next sitting, which will be held when we reach item 16. I will unveil the date for our next sitting. So whatever motions you have, you can start tabling them to the business committee to be considered, and then that motion will be debated. But for the virtual sitting, we want to make it informative, so that even if they disrupt connectivity of members, business will not come to an abrupt stop. It will still continue regardless. So thank you very much. Honourable members, continuing on commencement of private business, we are taking item 9, 10, and 11 at once. I would have loved, honourable members, since we are a parliament, I would like to just give a short statement on the demise of the speaker, of the Ugandan parliament. Honourable members, with my statement, with respect to statements, when statements are delivered, honourable members can support the statement by whatever submission they have. So that is the procedure for statements. Honourable members, my statement is on the demise of the Speaker of the Ugandan Parliament. Honourable members, yesterday, on the 21st of March 2022, the Speaker of the Ugandan Parliament, Right Honourable Jacob Oluwaya, passed on whilst he was on medical review abroad. The Deputy Speaker of the House, Right Honourable Annette Amon, confirmed on her Twitter handle. Honourable members, let me just read this other information. It is for the attention of the House with respect to my statement. By dying in office, the Right Honourable Speaker has actually served as the shortest serving Speaker of Uganda's Parliament. He served for 10 months before his death. He is a former member of the Uganda People's Congress, which is a party. And the lawmakers are to elect a new Speaker of the 11th Parliament following the death of the incumbent Speaker, Right Honourable Jacob Oluwaya, according to the Constitution. Article 82, Clause 4 of the Ugandan Constitution provides that, subject to Clause 4 of Article 81, no business shall be transacted in Parliament other than the election to the office of the Speaker at any time the office becomes vacant. Clause 4 of Article 81 of the Ghana Parliament, of the Ghana Constitution, relates to the incoming lawmakers to take oath of office and members of Parliament in order to be eligible to vote and be voted for as Speaker. The Speaker's office fell vacant after President Musevi yesterday confirmed that the Right Honourable Speaker of the Ghana Parliament passed on. He actually passed on while on medical review at the capital of Washington State of the United States of America. The office of the Speaker is the executive head of the legislature, and the Speaker is the third top-ranked official in the National Order of Precedence. Whilst, hello, whoever is speaking, please unmute your mics. Please unmute your mics. With a commanding lead in the House, HRM is expected to retain the chair, which is crucial for influencing legislative outcomes and resource appropriation to achieve the ruling party's promises in the manifesto. Ms. Cecilia Ngwai, a long-serving legislator and Dokolo District woman MP, said that there was an oversight in their 1993-1995 Constituent Assembly debates and that the issue of a speaker dying in office was not well addressed. This Oluwanya death and resulting vacancy has now provided us with the opportunity to do so. She was addressing the loophole in the Constitution, and she said, adding that the Deputy Speaker, Anita Amon, has been overwhelmed. Ms. Amon abruptly adjourned Parliament indefinitely last Tuesday, together with others, including the Chief Justice, Oluye Odolu, took a flight to check on the Right Honourable Speaker, who was hospitalized in Washington since last month. The Speaker and the Deputy Speaker, if they die in office, are under the Parliamentary Pensions Amendment Number 2 Act 2011, Part D, state burial, a state funeral, meaning all expenses shall be incurred by the state. The state and a 17-gun salute at burial under the law, 30% of gross annual salary of the deceased of the office bearer shall be used towards the funeral expenses, and the government shall declare a mourning period whilst national flags fly at half-mast. Day of burial shall be declared a public holiday in accordance with the Public Holidays Act of Uganda. So before he was actually sent to US, he was first hospitalized at Mugalo Hospital and later to the Nakasero Hospital before he was flown to US earlier. He had been in Dubai before he was brought to US for a surgical operation. Honorable members, as a speaker, national speakers are also icon to us. So I want to end my statement by saying may the soul of the MP and late Speaker of Uganda's Parliament, 11th Parliament, rest in the bosom of the Almighty God. Honourable members, thank you. Any submission to my statement? Honourable members, if you have a submission, a support to the statement, you can unmute yourself. Yes, Honourable Honourable Erasmus Kofi, Minority Leader, you can unmute yourself and give your support to the statement.
Okay, thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. First of all, I want to begin by airing my deepest condolences to the people of Uganda. In fact, this is a national crisis of which I know that they are in a state of mourning. Mr. Speaker, it is sad to know that such unprecedented events still happen. I can remember the tragedy that befell us during the death of our president, our late president, that is His Excellency the late Professor Ivan Satanos, as well as our late Vice President, His Excellency the late Vice President, if I may say it that way, Emisata. Mr. Speaker, I don't know where the world is getting to. We are currently in an economic crisis where one nation is against another nation, and then we are hearing such a news as well about the demise of a prominent member of state. Mr. Speaker, such news do not just sadden us, but Mr. Speaker, it puts the question on the mind of the youth. What is actually causing the demise of such prominent people? Is it just illness, or is there anything beyond that? Because we tend to ask, is it the pressure? Is it what is it? Mr. Speaker, then it comes. Should we consider aging to appointment of state positions? Because I think we should look at that. We should look at that. I think I was following one radio station that was some time ago, and then it was made mention that the youth should be made to fill in some leadership positions, and then the age should just supervise. They should be there. They should supervise so that at least they don't handle such pressure. Anyway, Mr. Speaker, once again, I render my deepest condolences to the people of Uganda, and I pray that the Almighty God will receive the soul of the Honorable late Speaker of Parliament for Uganda, and that his soul will rest in eternal peace. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Erasmus Ahadu, Minority Leader. Honorable members, any other support submission to the statement we read on the death of the incumbent Speaker of Uganda's Parliament? If you have a submission to that, you can equally unmute yourself or indicate it in the in-chat box, and I'll call you. Yes, honorable members, any submission, any support submission to the statement I read? Or should I call honorable members? Yes, Honorable Edwin, kindly proceed.
All right, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I don't have much to say, but I just want to extend my deepest condolences to the family, the country, and the entire Ugandan population. I wish them well, and I wish them a smooth election for a new speaker, so that their businesses can also go on smoothly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A follow-up submission from Honorable Erasmus Kofi.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity given me. Mr. Speaker, while you read the Twitter notification from the Deputy Speaker of Parliament for Uganda, you made mention of the pronouncement of a state holiday based on the date of death or the date of burial or funeral of the late Speaker of Parliament for Uganda. Mr. Speaker, can you reiterate on that? I don't know. Is it that they want to make that a public holiday? Is that a precedence in the state of Uganda? Kindly brief us more about that, please.
Yes, thank you very much. According to our source of information, it says an act was passed by the Ugandan Parliament, which talks about the fact that whenever state officers, that day will be declared a public holiday. It states, also the act stipulates, which is the Parliamentary Pensions Amendment Act number 2, 2020. It states that the day of burial shall be declared a public holiday, which is in accordance with the Public Holidays Act. That is what it states.
Mr. Speaker, Can you permit me to proceed with the follow-up?
Yes, please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, going forward, don't we see that to conflict with other public holidays? Because I am looking at I am just foreseeing the future. If this president should go on, I think in one way or the other, the people of Uganda will tend to have such hurdles as and when they may occur or rise up. I don't know, but I want to put up the question: if such a system should be adopted in our state or in our economy, Mr. Speaker, I want to pose a question to us: or what is going to happen, or what sort of challenges are we probably liable to face?
Yes, thank you very much. As a matter of fact, that is a question on the law of Uganda. What happens in Ghana is different. But with respect to Uganda, they have passed a law that when state officers die, especially the ones who have national precedence, for them, we don't know how their law works, but they have a Public Holiday Act which indicates that, and then they have a follow-up act which is the Parliamentary Pensions Act. So there is some kind of consonance with their acts. So their system will not conflict. There will not be inconsistency because for their acts, they are set with respect to that. But for we, it is very hard for me to talk about because this is two different nations. So all I can say is that according to their acts and practices, that is how they want things to be done. And it was passed by their parliament. So the only answer I can give is that in Uganda, that is the state of how they do state burials. Thank you very much. Okay, honorable members, would like to proceed. Any support statement to any support submission? Is there any support submission to the statement I made? If there are no support, honorable members, welcome back. We had a little bit of disruption from the network. However, we are back on track. Still on commencement of public business, a private business. The honorable minority leader has something for us before we move to the next part of the sitting. Honorable minority leader, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, right, for the speak. Mr. Speaker, I'm honored to commend Youth Impact Parliamentary members for taking up leadership positions. I think the Honorable Edmund Kekeli is currently virtually online. Mr. Speaker, I want to use this avenue to commend him for taking up the leadership position to aspire for the position of SLCG Youth. Local rep in the HT, whole technical university, sorry. Mr. Speaker, indeed, I can say that Youth Impact Parliament is doing what it has been established for. That is to groom parliamentary members in parliamentary way and then in leadership positions as well. Mr. Speaker, based on Youth Impact Parliament's training cells as well as other sessions, Mr. Speaker, I think I have been called on several podiums and I have been able to deliver audibly. Mr. Speaker, I think that was last 2 weeks. I was invited to, last week Friday, I was invited to Water Star Radio to speak on an issue concerning suicide, of which, Mr. Speaker, based on my audiences on Youth Impact Parliamentary sittings and the experience I have ascertained, Mr. Speaker, it was a very amazing show. I thank you indeed and I commend you for the illustrious work.
To the second committee, the business committee. There shall be a business committee consisting of 7 members Ranking Member, Millicent Motokwashi, Clerk, Wanda Nicodemus Jamesi, Godwin Yaokwashi, Augustus Teshum, Melvin Eriks, D. Befu. The Business Committee shall compile the order of business for every sitting, which shall be forwarded to the clerk as is 3 days ahead of the impending sitting. Set out the order paper onward dissemination to members. The chairman of the committee, majority leader, shall introduce the business of the House during every sitting as a matter of duty, after which he or she shall appeal to the Speaker to open for business, debate, and discussions or consideration. Any member who wants to present a statement for purposes of the debate or motion or petition must send his or her concerns to the Business Committee at least 5 days ahead of sittings for consideration, and shall also perform any other duty as may be referred to them by Mr. Speaker on the House. Do we have any member of the committee online? I think the minority leader is a ranking member. Minority leader, anything for the House with respect to the Business Committee?
Thank you very much.
Members to the Business Committee.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Regarding the Business Committee, Mr. Speaker, our activities are smoothly in progress. And I believe that since the chairman is not present yet, we have a report. We would address the House during the live sitting. So, Mr. Speaker, I plead and implore members to bear with us as we proceed with other committees, and then in due time, we shall present to the House a detailed report. I thank you.
Thank you very much. On that note, I direct that the report of the Business Committee be presented at the 6th sitting. Now, members, move on to the Education Committee. There shall be an Education Committee also of 7 members. The membership is Godson Adematlido, Chairperson, Brighton of Vixen, Ranking Member, Onais Adams, Clerk to Committee, Timothy Doche, Patience Chigwe, Erika Tamekro, Evans Dayon. The committee shall critically examine both new and ongoing governmental policies, projects, programs on formal education, their effectiveness, as well as their present and future repercussions on the formal education standards in our country. The committee shall as well prepare statements for debate by the House on contentious government policies on formal education. The committee shall as well initiate enterprising workshops and training programs to build the human resource capacity of members of Parliament, as well as both educated and uneducated youth in society. The committee shall identify and present to the House sensation program and the target group of that needs to be sensited by Parliament. The committee shall also perform any other duty that may be referred to them by Mr. Speaker. I don't think any member of this committee is online, so we'll move on to the next committee. Petitions Committee. I hope you can all see the screen. Okay, very good. Petitions Committee. Yes. Okay. Petitions Committee. Let's take a correction. It's supposed to be petitions. There shall be a petitions committee consisting of 7 members. The membership shall be perfect. Amuji Deku, chairperson of the committee. Courage Bedi, ranking member. Delphia Bukari, clerk committee. Gidi Evans, Gosin Adomapido, Kofi Selam Komla, Christopher Dobi. The committee shall investigate petitions referred to it by Mr. Speaker from youth or youth groups of the public who may be aggrieved by any mistakes, acts of negligence, and other shortcomings committed by any public officer. The committee, in the performance of its duties, or any action taken with respect to clause 2 of this order reports to the House. The committee can also submit petitions to Mr. Speaker for investigation and reports to the House. The committee shall present to the House any matter referred to it for investigation within 2 weeks. However, the committee may appeal to the House for extension beyond 2 weeks on the conviction that the matter to be investigated is complex and time involving. The committee shall as well perform any duty that may be referred to them by Mr. Speaker. I don't think any member of the committee is around, so we'll move on to the next committee, the Privileges Committee. There shall be a Privileges Committee consisting of 7 members. The membership is Amanor Ahadeke, Chairperson, Edmond Kikeli, Ranking Member, Honor Adams, Clerk Committee, Wanda Nicodemus Jamisi, Godwin Yao Kwashi, Teddy Gawaga, and this is supposed to be the Daniel Okansi. The Privileges Committee's core function shall be to recommend to Parliament names of members or leaders to be awarded privileges or to withdraw certain privileges from such leaders or members in straight, honest manner. The committee shall take up all issues on allegations of breach of orders or laws in the House for investigation. The committee shall present to the House on any matter referred to it for investigation within 2 weeks. However, the committee may appeal for extension beyond 2 weeks on conviction that the matter to be investigated is complex and time-involving. The committee shall perform any other duty that may be referred to them by Mr. Speaker. I think we have the chairperson, ranking member, the chairperson and ranking member online. Chairperson of Privileges Committee, the Honorable Second Deputy Speaker. Any information to the House?
All right, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. It's an honor to deliver a report the Privileges Committee this evening. Shall I begin? A report delivered by Honorable Hilary, Second Deputy Speaker of Youth Impact Parliament, at the second sitting of the second session of the first Youth Impact Parliament on March 22nd, 2022. Right Honorable Speaker and the guest house, it is in high spirit I deliver to you my report on Privileges Committee of Youth Impact Parliament. As per the standing orders of the House, the chair the committee were added for easy submissions, suggestions, and deliberations of issues to be made towards the growth of Youth Impact Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, so far, no issue on allegations of breach of orders or laws has been referred to the Privileges Committee. The committee therefore uses the medium to congratulate all honorable members on how they best comport themselves. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker, the Privileges Committee hence urges all to live their expected honorable lives. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker and the Guest House. Long live Ghana, long live Youth Impact Parliament. Thank you.
Thank you very much for reading the report. Honorable ranking member, any commentary? Honorable Edmond Kekeli Dokuma, any commentary on the chairperson's report as ranking member? Okay, I don't think it's active. If it's not active, can the House move that the report of the Privileges Committee be adopted? Yes, Honorable Minority Leader. Let the chairperson move the motion and then the minority leader second. Honorable Chairperson, can you move the motion that your committee's report be adopted by the House? Honorable Second Deputy Speaker, kindly move motion that your committee's report be adopted by the House. I think he went up. Honorable Minority Leader, kindly move the motion that the report be adopted by the House.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the honor given me. In the absence of further submissions to the report presented by the Honorable Second Deputy Speaker, I humbly move a motion that this report be accepted as a working document for the House. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Journalist Assembly, kindly second the motion that the report be adopted by the House. Is there anyone who can second the motion? Okay.
Yes.
Honorable Ranking Member, kindly second the motion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm in the person of Mod Kekeli. I rise to second the motion put in place by our Honorable Minority Leader.
Honorable members, motion moved and seconded that the reports of the Privileges Committee be adopted by the House. Say aye.
Aye.
Not in favor, say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Therefore, this report is accordingly adopted by the House. Honorable members, we move on to the Publicity and Media Committee. Honorable members, there shall be a Publicity Committee, Publicity and Media Committee consisting of 7 members. A. Alegabas Osman, Chairperson. B. Dola Graston, Ranking Member. C. Delphia Bukari, Clerk. D. Godwin Kwashi, Eugene Adutun, Calvin Dogby, Gidi Evans. The committee shall perform other duties, publish statements, new item or document issued by Parliament for public consumption. The committee shall educate the public on the activities of this Parliament. The committee shall project good image of the House to the public eye. The committee shall handle social media platforms of the House in consultation with the Speaker and Deputy Clerk publicity. The committee shall make available posters to aid in public serving activities of the House. The committee shall handle external and internal criticisms and praise about the activities of the House in a way that it will not counterproductive to the integrity of the House. The committee shall network the House with other media, both print and electronic, to propagate and reinforce the participation of youth at all levels of decision making. The committee shall also perform any duty as may be referred to them by the Speaker. I don't think any member is around, so we'll move on to the next committee. Research and Intelligence Committee. There shall be a Research and Intelligence Committee consisting of 7 members. They are Honorable Erasmus, Ahianu, Chairperson, Honorable Selam Agabo, Ranking Member, Honorable Millicent Motpo Kwashi, Clerk Committee, Honorable Edward Holm, Vincent Awal, Cecilia Kato, Kofi Selonkomla. The Research and Intelligence Committee shall furnish the House with findings on matters of interest to the House. The committee shall assist committees to acquire facts and data and information. The committee shall be responsible for intelligence and security issues with respect to the House. The committee shall perform any other duty that may be referred to them by Mr. Speaker or the House. Honorable members, the chairperson of the committee is in the House. I'll give him the floor for him to say anything or make his commentary on his committee, or if he has any report. Honorable Erasmus.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity given the Research and Intelligence Committee report delivered by Erasmus Kofi on the 22nd of March 2022. Mrs. And school members to see which I six on we
This one. Honorable Janet.
Okay.
Yes. Edmond, can you second the adoption of the report?
Okay, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I kindly second the adoption of the report presented by Honorable Erasmus.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, motion moved and seconded that the report of the Research and Intelligence Committee be adopted. Say aye. Not in favor, say nay.
Aye.
The ayes have it, the motion carries. Therefore, the report is accordingly adopted. Honourable members, we move on to the next committee, which is the Special Budget Committee. Honourable members, there shall be a Special Budget Committee consisting of 7 members. They are Felix-Ansah, Chairperson, Hilary, Theophilus, Ranking Member, All Nice Adams, Clerk, Richard Mate, David Kumsin, Harriet Abube, Evans Aku. The committee shall be in charge of raising funds for the house, especially during outreach program. The committee shall prepare budgets for expenses for the house in consultation with leadership of the house. The committee shall also recommend other 2 ways of adding more income to strengthen the finances of the house. The committee shall also perform any other duty designated or referred to them by Mr. Speaker. Honourable members, I don't think there is any member of the committee over here, so we'll move on. The Standing Orders Committee. There shall be a Standing Orders Committee consisting of 7 members. The membership shall be Jones Amegashie-Viglo, Chairperson, Hilary Ofosu-Ansah, Clerk, Felix Fakpe, Amanor, Amanor David, Erasmus, Ahianu, Priscilla. The committee, it shall be the duty of the committee to draft and codify the rules relating to the procedure of the house and general conduct of business, which shall be observed in the house and in all committees. The committee shall consider from time to time and report to the house any proposal or amendment that may be referred to it. The rules of the house shall be referred to as the standing order. The committee shall perform any other duty which may be referred to them by Mr. Speaker. Honourable members, during the first Parliament, the standing orders was drafted and was adopted to be used as a draft until we are satisfied that it is adequate. And just today, for the virtual sitting, we modified some rules so that it shall be convenient for today's sitting. So the committee has a WhatsApp page, and we do our discussions there. And as of now, this is the status of the rules of the house, which is what we already processed. So I therefore move that my report be adopted. Any seconder? Honorable Edmond, can you do us that honor?
Okay. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise to move the motion for the report of the
Standing Orders Committee.
Standing Orders Committee to be adopted by the House.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, motion moved and seconded that the report of the Standing Orders Committee be adopted. Say aye. Not in favor, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Therefore, this House has accordingly adopted the report of the Standing Orders Committee. Honourable members, moving on. The Welfare Committee. There shall be a Welfare Committee consisting of 7 members. The committee shall be as Josephine Adelan, Chairperson, Priscilla Adai, Ranking Member, Militant Moto, Kwashi, Clerk. Oh, sorry, let me move it here as well. Yes. Josephine Adelan, Chairperson, Priscilla Adai, Ranking Member, Militant Moto, Kwashi, Clerk, Ms. Pabuadi, Iris Makapi, Harriet Tete, Mariam Masedu. The committee shall ensure that the youth parliament caters for welfare of its members. As a matter of fact, as you can see, it is not 275 constituencies, but rather 93 constituencies. And you may ask, why 93? As a matter of fact, Youth Impact Parliament focuses on Volta region, but Volta region only has 8 seats, and we don't think 10 seats are adequate adding 18 to the 8 of Kofi will also not be adequate. So we have decided to add neighboring regions to the Volta region, which are namely the Greater Accra region, the Eastern region, and Oti. Volta region has 18 seats, Oti has 8 seats, Eastern region has 33 seats, and then Eastern region has 33 seats, and then Greater Accra has 34 seats. So due to that, in the second parliament, members can apply to be youth MPs for their respective constituencies. Now, a question is that, what if the person does not have his or her constituency among these four? We'll give the person the benefit of the doubt to apply for a constituency he or she does not hail from. But if you have an applicant who hails from that the requested constituency, you who do not hail from there will be redesignated to another constituency. So that is it for the benefit of those who might not hail from any of the constituencies, any of the 93 constituencies to be considered. An application form will be made available so that interested applicants can apply and then be youth MPs. Honorable members, I'll proceed to read out the constituencies that will be available for application. They are, respectively, Volta Regional Youth Constituencies, 18 seats. Adakulu, 1. Adakulu, 2. Afajato South, 3. Agotime Ziofi, 4. Akachi North, 5. Akachi South, 6. Anglon, 7. Central Tong, 8. Ho Central, 9. Ho West, 10. Hokwe, 11. Keta, 12. Ketu North, 13. Ketu South, 14. Sando, 15. North Dine, 16. North Tong, Abram, 3. Abuaka North, 4. Abuaka South, 5. Achiase, 6. Front Plains North, 7. Front Plains South, 8. Akim Oda, 9. Akim Swedru, 10. Akropong, 11. Akrapin South, 12. Akratia, 13. Asene Akroso Manso, 14. Aso German, 15. Atiawa East, 16. Atiawa West, 17. Ayem Swano, 18. Patekwa North, 19. Patekwa South, 20. Kade, 21. Lower Manyakrobo, 22. Lower West Akin, 23. Umpreso, 24. New Durban North, 25. New Durban South, 26. Nkaka, 27. Nsawam, Nsawam Abdulajiri, 28. Ofase Ayirbi, 29. Okeye, 30. Soon, 31. Upper Manyakrobo, 32. Upper West Akin, 33. Irokrobo. Forgive my pronunciation, I'm a Votarian, I'm not a guy. And then moving on to the last regional representation, which is Greater Accra. Greater Accra, we have 34 seats. 34 seats, as you can see on the screen. So 1. Ablekuma Central, 2. Ablekuma North, 3. Ablekuma South, 4. Ablekuma West, 5. Ada, 6. Adenta, 7. Amasama, 8. Aya Sowotun, 9. Ashama, 10. Aya also Central, 11. Aya also East, 12. Aya also North, 13. Aya also West Lagoon, 14. Abrontiano, Njesi Amafro, 15. Dade Kotopon, 16. Dome Kobenya, 17. Dome Brown Obom, 18. Kole Klote, 19. Stone Akatamanso, 20. Krowo, 21. Lejo Kuku, 22. Madina, 23. Ingo Pram, 24. Odio, 25. Okaike Central, 26. Okaike North, 27. Okaike South, 28. Sege, 29. Shah Osoduku, 30. Tema Central, 31. Tema West, 32. Tema East, 33. Trobu, 34, Wija Bawen. The honorable members, these are the 93 constituencies that will be made available for application in constituting our second parliament. Honorable members, the second parliament is supposed to commence at the end or at the dissolution of the first parliament, and we are looking at either June, July for the dissolution of the first parliament and constitution. So what will be honorable for us to do is that the form will be made available, and hopefully from the sixth sitting of the House, then the form will be approved, and then it will be shared for anyone who has interest. So any of you who are even part of the first parliament can pick a constituency and apply. It does not mean when all 93 seats are filled, we will not consider. When all 93 seats are filled, we will also put a motion on floor for double representation of constituencies, because we are not looking at just a sole representation. We want to build capacity for the youth. Honourable members, this is for the attention of the House. Moving on to item 14 on the order paper, honors and awards for first parliamentarians. As a matter of fact, we wouldn't allow you to volunteer without rewards. The honors that we will do is that we will honor all of you with a certificate of honor. All active members, committee members, will be awarded with a certificate of honor. And then all leaders, the people holding the positions, will be given a citation of honor. That is for the information of the House. Moving on to item 15. Item 15, subsequent virtual leadership seminar. Honourable members, the timetable for this House, this March and April are loaded. Already, we have scheduled dates and guest speakers for our 4 subsequent virtual leadership seminars. As you know, we have already held 5 in January, and we are hoping to hold an additional 4 before our first anniversary. They are 6 virtual leadership seminars to be held on the 24th of March 2022. We'll have Mr. Fraser Abdul Idrisu, who is the Speaker of Youth Parliament for Ahianu Municipal, and he is also a broadcast journalist. We'll have him on the 24th as our 6th guest speaker to speak on our virtual leadership seminar. Then we'll have our 7th virtual leadership seminar on the 1st of April 2022. We'll have Reverend Roger Tipiku, who is the Deputy General Overseer for Paradise International Ghana. Paradise International. And you would also speak on Mr. Fraser Idrisu will speak on communication. He's talking about public speaking basically. Reverend Roger Tipiku will take us through dealing with spiritual life and youth leadership. Then the 8th virtual leadership seminar is scheduled for the 7th of April 2022, and we'll have Mr. Eric Nwama Korache. He is someone who was masters in English, who will teach us on this one, not on effective. His topic is not the same as Fraser, because Fraser is focused on public speaking, but Mr. Eric is going to teach us dynamics of English and how best to make use of the English language, and then some other things. We are still working on the topic. Then for our 9th virtual leadership seminar to be scheduled for the 14th of April 2022, we'll have Mr. W.H. Kobina Adumaji London. He's basically going to speak on the SDG goals and then any other important factor that we might integrate. We are also working on his topic as well. So this is for the information of the House. These are the virtual leadership seminars that we are hoping to have in the course of this month and next month. Honourable members, moving on to item 16 on the order paper, 6th parliamentary sitting. Honourable members, the 6th parliamentary sitting will be critical as always, and it will be held on the 3rd of April 2022 at 8 USRC GCR. The motion for debate will be made available and will be shared to you. We urge honorable members to prepare ahead of time since it's going to be a very hot one. And most of the things being brought to the sitting is because we want to reduce matters or issues to be deliberated at the 6th sitting. That is why we have taken the opportunity to discuss them at our 5th sitting, which is actually the 2nd sitting. So the 6th sitting will actually be the 3rd sitting of the 2nd session. That will be the 3rd sitting of the 2nd session, then the 6th sitting. So if you have any questions about what is being discussed at our 5th sitting, which is today's sitting, you can bring them under private business when the House reconvenes for the 6th sitting to be held at SRC GCR on the 3rd of April 2022. It will obviously be in around afternoon, evening. So honorable members, I indulge you to prepare. Moving on to item 17, first anniversary special sitting. If the House, for the information or for the attention of Parliament to grow, Youth Impact Parliament basically seeks to build capacity for youth in public speaking, deliberation, parliamentary business, social norms, and values. And we have to celebrate our progress. So at that sitting, the sitting arrangement might be different, and the business to be discussed will also vary a little bit. Because instead of our normal deliberations and items that we have on the other paper, we'll have more speeches and then some celebrations, and then we'll close it. We are hoping that to just take about an hour. So more discussions on how the first anniversary will take place will be discussed at the next sitting to be conveyed on the 3rd of April. Honorable members, in the absence of any discussion or any further deliberations, I now respectfully adjourn the House to 3rd April 2022. The House shall reconvene on 3rd April 2022 at 8 USRC GCR in the afternoon. The House accordingly stands adjourned. Good day, honorable members. I'm Jones Amegashie-Viglo.